They had to edit her butt smaller.
In Jurassic Park?
Yes. Because she got a dumpy. Hey guys, welcome back to Industry Sunday with your hosts, Jake Levan and
Kennedy Novi. Welcome back, guys.
It is episode 15.
15, that's a milestone.
Is it?
That's
more than 14. Yeah, you're right.
It's not an even number, but it's
what's better than 24?
25.
We're not
14,
quite there yet.
15.
We're like, yeah.
We're getting our learner's permit. If we were a teenager, we'd be getting a learner's permit.
Or I have my farmer's license. I can drive tractors.
Not everyone's from the Midwest.
This is true. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, exciting. 15 episodes. We're about to ramp up our advertising and marketing to try to reach more people. So,
yes.
But our biggest asset is you guys. So while we do this trial run of seeing different ways to advertise ourselves, we'd also love if our listeners that already love us would market us as well to their friends, their family. That's the tale as old as time. Podcasters saying like, send us to your friends, like share it on your story.
Yeah,
like, it really does help.
Do anything that you can to help us out. My headphone is not working. But yeah, we're getting a little bit of money, so we will be advertising more and, further outreach of the stupid shit that we talk about. That is the restaurant industry. Yeah,
and we're gonna do some boots on the ground advertising as well.
What's that?
Boots on the ground,
like Puss in Boots.
Guerrilla marketing. We're gonna be out in the streets.
What the fuck is guerrilla marketing?
Ever heard of guerrilla warfare?
No. What is it? Were you?
I don't exactly know what it means.
Were you at the zoo recently?
No, it's not spelled like gorilla. It's gorilla.
Let me look this up. What is it? Guerrilla
marketing. Guerrilla.
Well, I just spelled it like normal gorilla. You'll figure it out. Guerrilla, an advertising approach that borrows the concepts of guerrilla warfare or the element of surprise to communicate with target audiences.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That doesn't give me any information. What is an example?
We're going to go around Chicago and start putting up signs that say, I hate serving. With a QR code to our podcast.
That's what it's called. Yeah. Sony's campaign in 2002, in which actors were hired to wander about cities asking strangers to take a photo with them.
Wait, should we hire actors to walk around the city?
I don't know where you're getting this trust fund money from, but it ain't from me.
Actors are probably expensive. They are.
Dad. Just kidding. Don't have one.
Jeez. Episode 15, Jake's childhood trauma comes out.
Here we go. So now, so I've been in therapy lately, so let's just unload that bomb.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just
Abort mission.
Oh, you got to tell us about, how was your week before we get all carried away?
It was fine. I don't think anything really exciting happened. I went to 2 friends and family opening parties for restaurants. Or not opening parties, but like where you go and you try the food and the drinks. And neither of them were in my company. So they were companies that were outside of my company. So it was kind of nice to like go to one that wasn't related to what I do.
What about the one that was in your company?
I already talked about that last week.
Oh, was that last week? Okay.
Yeah.
What 2? I mean, I know we went to Bodega.
Yesterday, yeah. And then
Tequila.
It's like a New York company. And
Miami.
then I went to Mercadito. Their basement is turning into like a fancier version of Mercadito.
Ratatouille?
Called Copal.
Just kidding, not Ratatouille. I just think of River North basements and I think, never mind. What's it called?
Very clean.
What's it called?
Copal.
Copal. It's just like a higher end Mercadito?
Yeah, and it's just like more experimental. They had it's like more Mediterranean feel to it.
I kind of like that. It was pretty good. That place is cute. It's decorated cute. I like the vibe in there.
Yeah.
It is a nice vibe. I like the booths.
Yeah, I had only tried a few things. The drinks were really good. They have like a Tres Leches drink that is super creamy, and I love a creamy drink.
Oh, that just sounds like bubble guts. The way it curdles.
I was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. They had really good hummus.
Tres Leches, though.
They had this hummus that tasted like peanut butter. It was good.
Okay, so maybe I'm going to have to stop in there.
Yeah, I don't know when they open. I probably should have asked, but it was good.
Was it was just like a friends and family, or was it like more like a mock service? Because I know we went to the mock service yesterday for bodega. The friends.
It was a friends and family.
It's next week. Who'd you go with?
By myself.
Oh, you were invited by yourself.
Yeah.
We have So this is our last, I believe, just like our solo episodes together. Me and Kennedy for a little while. We're gonna go back into interviewing.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have a little bit of a break. But also, I mean,
I
love
it was getting
people.
stressful scheduling people, but we've already talked about that. Yeah. But next week we're interviewing a fine dining server who's worked at a couple different fine dining spots in Chicago.
All over.
Yeah, she's got a great sense of humor too. It's gonna be really fun.
An owner.
I think we'll have Kyle back
Kyle's
in the next
coming
couple
back?
weeks. Yeah, I think we're gonna do 2 episodes with her and him here,
I think that would be good.
and they're gonna be like bonus characters in each episode. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And then like a bar owner partner, we're setting that interview up, and we're on the hunt for a chef, a funny chef. We want to interview a line cook, a chef, anyone. So if any of you have any
fun back of house people,
yeah, I've got a couple people in mind, but I'm still working on it. But if anyone has any recommendations, please send it to our Instagram because we're looking.
Yeah, I'm always down. But yeah, that's our little. Sorry for the little blip there, but
we have a new segment this week.
we do. I haven't even talked about my week. My week's not exciting either, though.
Oh, what'd you do?
I just went to Minnesota for my sister's birthday. We had a nice little steak dinner in Minnesota. And then I came back here. I have been running a lot. I set a goal for myself to do 100 miles in 30 days. It's been 2 weeks. I'm already at 50 miles, so I am on track. My legs feel like jello. If anybody that knows me, I am not an endurance person. It's like a quick sprint, but we're working on it. So it's been a fun little goal.
Do you walk a lot of that? I feel like you walk some.
I walk a little bit. I mean, like, cause I used to run a lot, and since COVID, I like stopped running. And so now I'm like, I have to be careful of shin splints. I don't want to overdo it. So it's like slowly getting back to that point.
There's a spider on your wall.
That's Jimmy.
It's huge. No, it is a Jimmy.
That's not even that big. That's Jimmy.
Why is it see-through? It's clear.
Because he usually only comes out at night. He doesn't get a lot of sun. He's like me. He's pale. Anyways, ignore Jimmy. He'll be on
He's
segment.
in the back of the whatever.
He's our producer today. But yeah, no, I used to run a lot, so now I'm trying to get back into it. I am down 35 pounds.
Damn.
I know. My road to zero starts now. Just kidding. My goal initially was to drop 50 to get back into the shape that I used to be in. And it's happening pretty fast. So hopefully that will be done. I feel like the first part of it, I dropped off weight a little bit too fast, so maybe a little unhealthy. So try to even it out so my body is fine. So a month and a half from now, try to hit that 50 goal and then be comfy. Still no drinking. I don't vape anymore. Going on a couple weeks of that too. Just literally everything. I'm just raw dogging life now.
It's scary.
Disgusting. Like, it's gross. I'm over it.
Gross.
I'm like, what do you guys? How do you guys just like raw dog life every day? Somebody tell me, please. No, but otherwise, yeah, I think it's been really good. Works fantastic. We're growing. We just hired people for our St. Louis and Detroit, and then we will soon be hiring people for Cleveland and Minneapolis.
Exciting.
So who knows? I may be doing a little traveling. But all the new people we've been hiring it's been actually I like hiring people. I like the process. I think it's fun. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I think I've just been chilling. I got a call today. I found out that my car lease was 39 months, not 36.
Oh.
I don't even know what the hell I signed when I got that car. They were like, yeah, you got like 6 months left. And I was like, I got it in July, 3 years ago almost. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, so that would be 36 months in July. And they're like, no, you have a 39 month lease. I'm like, who? Did I even read anything? I can't read.
Yeah, that's it. You did not read any of it.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's my week. So I have my car longer than I was planning, but that's fine.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, not really interesting actually at all. No.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's been kind of boring. I'm trying to make it sound not boring, but my life's really boring right now. But summer's around the corner, so we're hoping for the best.
It's coming.
But yeah, so new segment.
Yes.
What's the new segment?
It's called I Heard a Rumor.
That's it? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was thinking like every other episode, if we hear something interesting about the industry or Chicago industry, we put it on I Heard a Rumor segment.
Okay.
Do you want to hear my rumor?
Yeah. I need an example. Like, that's how I work.
Okay. So allegedly, a hologram FaceTime might be coming out in the near future. I think this was a rumor that started during COVID because they were trying to figure out a way to have people be able to interact, see, and hear each other better, like more efficiently, I guess, or make it feel more personable because you're not looking at a screen, you're looking at a person.
What?
The pioneering technology, which involves the projection of life-size 4K holograms, means loved ones separated by the pandemic will be able to see, hear, and interact with each other in real time, as though they were sat together at the same table without having to stare at a screen. So,
Sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
I know. They're coming out with a new season in June, too. So it's very timely.
So you're having a hologram with your wife at a table?
Well, yeah, if you're long distance with your wife.
Are you eating hologram food? Like,
No.
Does it taste anything?
Speaking of hologram food, the reason that this is like the rumor I heard is because I also read an article on Eater recently by Aaron DeJesus.
Jesus.
It's about a future Japanese cafe functioning without waiters. We've talked about this before, like the possibility of AI taking over the service industry in the not in the near future, but eventually.
Well, they just suspended like everything. You're not like,
yeah, I know,
because it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, I know, but it was just like really interesting to think about because someone said to me, they're like, at least we can find comfort in the fact that like the hospitality, especially maybe not the service industry, like maybe like more like McDonald's, things like that.
Fast food, but yeah, I mean,
they might implement that faster than hospitality groups, but like they said that they find comfort that people will still want a human connection when they want like a full-blown experience, like a fine dining experience, things like that.
Of course. I mean, that's just like genetically how we are set up. We're not lone, and I'm not a fucking bald eagle. Like, it's not just like me versus the world and my like significant. Well, they have a partner.
I don't go to a restaurant because I want to like just fill my stomach and leave.
Sometimes. I mean, yeah, no, usually I'll just Uber Eats it and sit my ass at home and be alone. But like if I'm...
Yeah, I'm not leaving my house if I'm just I just need to eat something to survive. Like, no.
Being around people is like, I think it's a very healthy thing to do. And like getting out and leaving the house and doing those things is just like, that's going to say a permanent thing. Like no amount of technology can really alter that process because I think as people in general, like those interactions have to exist. For the most part, unless we want to be like fucking Wall-E.
As long as we don't go, exactly. As long as we don't go through some like giant introvert revolution where people are like, we don't want to talk to other humans anymore. I don't see this happening anytime soon. But this article about this Japanese cafe, I watched a video about it. I'm probably going to post pictures from the video or the video on the Instagram.
Okay.
In a video by a Tokyo-based technology company, they imagine a restaurant from the future where diners are sensed at the table. So you sit down and like the AI senses that you're there and a holographic waiter just pops up on a screen. Look at this photo.
Oh, hell no.
Right? Isn't that weird? And then instead of like, you know how, especially with hospitality, like a nicer restaurant.
What country is this in? Japan?
Japan, yeah.
What the heck? Keep going on. I'll finish afterwards.
So normally a server would like run through the menu with you, ask about allergies, like do their spiel, right? So instead, in lieu of a spiel, this holographic waiter would basically like explain the menu, recommend menu items, based on like your personality essentially, because everything goes through your smartphone. So kind of like how the algorithm tracks everything you do and shows you ads of things you're going to like. That's how it would kind of work. It would show you food items that you're going to like based on your algorithm. And it would show up on the screen and like the pictures of it. And then you would just click on a picture or like point at something. And that's how you'd order it. But the one thing is that I guess the check would also be settled via smartphone too. Like everything is through your smartphone. So you order on the smartphone, you settle your check on the smartphone. So it's like using an app.
That kind of already happens at the airport.
Yeah. Or like when you order from like Starbucks, pre-order.
Yeah.
Mobile order.
I just like order my drink and they just drop it off in front of me. I'm like, hey.
Yeah. But one thing that I noticed wasn't in the video, and the article mentions this too. They don't show how the food gets to the table. They just skip from her ordering to like coffee being at her table in front of her. So it's like, how would that get there? Like a robot?
It's just a robot
on wheels.
Yeah, like a robot cart, just like it does it.
But then you have to get up from your table and pick up your food. Like no one's gonna put it on your table for
I
you.
don't know. I just think it's stupid. Well,
It's so stupid.
Here's the thing. So like, I understand that working in cultures like China and Japan where they're not so hospitality focused. It's more so. I mean, just working with those types of cuisines in those cultures, it's much less service. It's service oriented, but in a very different way. Like you are not meant to really interact with the guests. If they need something, they'll raise their hand. They'll let you know.
They just embrace technology a lot more than other cultures. I feel like, especially in like Tokyo, like that whole thing is a huge tech hub.
But it's not an American thing. People come to America for the hospitality. Like people come to Chicago for the hospitality aspect of like feeling like wine and dine like very special.
Yeah.
But like other cultures, it's not like that. So I could see this working in other places that are more like that, where it's like you come with the people that you're with and then you socialize with those people. The server is just for service, like they just do what is told to do, and then you put your hand up and they come over type stuff is what it is over there. I
think that would only make sense with like a large group. Like if there's only like 2 or 3 of you, I feel like you interact with the server more. If there's like 10 to 20 of you, like the server is just kind of there. Because like it's so hard to interact with that big of a group.
What? I'm confused. Are you talking about like over in other countries?
No, it's in general. Like in my experience as a server, when I'm serving a group of 3 people, I get to know them, where they're from, like tell them about my, like, you know, you just like chat with them more. When it's a giant group, like a big business dinner, I feel like they don't interact with me because they're in like a business meeting, or like there's just too many of them for you to like pinpoint who you should talk to because it's such a long table.
Yeah, I guess.
So in that instance, I could see like an AI server or a holographic server working, because the whole point of the server in that point is just to drop off food, get drink orders. That's it. They don't interact with them at all.
I guess I see what you're saying, but that's still what I'm
like a banquet server, like in a banquet hall.
Yeah,
like
I
those,
guess I could
like,
see that working.
You're at a wedding; those people don't come up and talk to you.
No, not a chance. They just drop shit off and leave.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
Arguably, the easiest serving job is being a banquet or event server.
It's not though. That's the thing. The reason it's not is because of all the shit you have to move. It's a lot of labor. Moving tables and all that.
Well, that's before the guests even arrive,
the
though.
Social interaction, very minimal, but you're putting in fucking work. You're picking up sofas and moving shit around.
And you're bussing more because you have to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of bussing and clearing, but like, yeah, like as far as like, if you're like not in like a people person and you want to be a server, like that would be, the banquet server would be the closest thing to it.
Yeah. I think that's it on that story, though. I didn't really like get too deep into it. I just kind of wanted to like hear your thoughts, because this segment's supposed to be a short segment.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it working. I mean, not here. I see over like in Asian countries, like China and Japan, where that culture is more so designated towards that type of service, with the interaction.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's a reach, though, because not everyone's the same based on their culture.
I mean, I've worked with a lot of like, I mean, working in Japanese cuisine myself.
Yeah.
People that I worked with say like, it is not like this where over in, you know, in like Japan, South Korea, Thailand, anything like that. It's just like when you need something, you tell them and they get it and they leave. It's not a social interaction by any means.
I guess you could say that about like, when I was in Greece, the servers were they interacted a lot.
Because you're in a tourist area.
True, but I was not exactly.
Like dealing with Americans, they know you're going to tip extra.
That's true.
So that's like the mentality behind it. But like, I mean, you're in France, same type of thing. they get paid normal wages. They come around once every 2 hours. Same thing with in Germany. That service I felt like was better. Amsterdam is pretty good. But like even like a lot of just like European countries are a lot like that too, because
their salary.
They make a normal wage. They have their healthcare. Like they're not expecting any kind of tip or gratuity, which is why our hospitality is so very different. So when I'm speaking of like this would work in other cultures, like it's where like the server doesn't have to interact.
They're not
with
as big
you
on hospitality
unless you need something.
Yeah,
and that's where that would come in.
But I'm sure that there's other instances like specific restaurants in other countries that this wouldn't work with as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, and of course you still have like, like your Michelin star places like over in like in Spain and like Portugal and like all those places, and like there's still they still exist as like high hospitality places. They're just it's I guess like a less normalized thing. Just from my experience of traveling and being overseas a lot. It's not a bad thing. It's just different.
I just think it really depends on the type of cuisine you have, the level of the quality, and just like everything else that goes into it as well. I just feel like you need a human being. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, like fast food type stuff, I see that working out, but I don't see that really working with places that you're spending over $100 per person averages.
Yeah. Definitely not. Because you want like them to serve you and explain the food as you're being served it and things like that. Definitely not.
Yeah.
All right. I think the topic of the week, I wanted to kind of go back to basics with serving and bartending. This would apply to really any job in the service industry, but would you ever pick up a shift from someone who consistently never picks up yours, even if you really wanted it, like it was a really good shift?
I've done that. I literally be like, no, and then I'll ask if anybody has a shift that they want to give up, and I'll take somebody else's.
If it's a day that I want to work, like a Saturday, I'm like, I'm not doing anything.
You don't do shit for me. And then you're always releasing your shifts, and you're always asking me, and then the one time I'm like, hey, like, like I have like a funeral to go to, or like I have like pneumonia, and like, can you pick up my shift? And they're like, no, I'm busy. Like I actually am like gonna go day drinking. Like,
yeah.
Like I already have plans with my friend. I'm like, you can choke and die.
Actually, I'm on my way to the moon.
I will literally never do anything for you again. Like I'll block your number.
I think the craziest part, what bothers me is the people that don't respond to you. Like you ask someone to cover your shift.
I see that at work, and I'm like,
yeah.
What? I'm like, hey.
Yeah. Or you see on their story that they're like at a show or at dinner, like, I get it if you bought tickets or something and you already had plans, whatever.
That's different.
But like, don't completely ignore me. Just like, at least tell me no so I can like check you off my list and move on.
Yeah, like
it's just like, if you owe me a favor because I've covered 5 of your shifts in the last 2 months, like
the worst is when
at least tell me that you can't.
They're like, I don't take it. They're like, let me think about it. I'm like, bitch, I don't have fucking time for you to think about it. Yes or no now. Don't
give me false hope.
Yeah, don't be like, well, let me see when I wake up tomorrow how I'm feeling. No, bye. Like I'm never doing anything for you.
I've definitely done that. I'm like, and if I say yes now, I might regret it tomorrow. So, but I've always had like multiple jobs while I serve. Like I usually don't just serve.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like after a long day of work, I'll be like, I don't want to work anymore tonight.
No, I'll just be like, I just don't want.
Today was terrible. I need to go home and cry.
Some people that will always pick up a shift and just never ask for anything because they just love money and they just have nothing else to do but work.
Oh, the greed drives people.
I know, but then they get really irritable and they're hard to work around because they work all the time and then they complain about working all the time. I'm like, well, stop picking up shifts, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like,
seriously.
You do this to yourself. Nobody's asking you to do this.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever like purposely denied a shift pickup because someone hasn't taken my shift before. I feel like karma, what goes around comes around, you know? Are you okay? Oh my God.
Oh, I just hit myself in the head. The microphone was falling like off the table. It just like kept like dangling down.
Every episode, your microphone does not stay on.
I know. I was like laying, like starting to like lay down like with the microphone.
Maybe we should get mini mic holders. We can just hold them in our hand.
I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind just holding it. I don't really care. Yeah.
My back would be thankful for it.
I know, because I'm leaning all weird.
I don't know. Do you have any stories of the week?
I do.
His mom sent him one.
Oh, it disappeared. Come back to me. Shit. Well, I don't know.
Technical difficulties.
Just relax. Talk about something funny. I don't know. Okay. So this, because this has been something that's been going on for a long time, and she actually sent me this article because it was a place I used to work for. So I got it from the Post Bulletin by Answer Man. It's the person that wrote this. That's quite the name. It's just Answer Man. Like, all right.
Why? I can see his profile picture. It's like
a question mark that says Answer Man.
What?
I don't get it. So basically, it's an article got released because a company that I used to work for added a 2% employee wellness surcharge.
That you used to work for? Mm-hmm. In Chicago?
No, Minnesota. So here's the thing. In Chicago, the wellness thing and like that 2 or 3% COVID surcharge was like pretty normalized here.
Yeah. Well, and it's like a lot of times it's because of the rising costs of running a restaurant. Because now there's like a bill that was passed pretty recent, I want to say within the last year, where you have to provide hourly restaurant employees with insurance. So that's expensive for a company.
In Illinois, but not other.
So I think a lot of restaurants label it as like 3% employee insurance charge.
Yeah. So other places I'm finding out, other cities like outside of like Illinois and Chicago do not do this. So basically what happened was there's this controversy that erupted on like the city's Facebook page. So basically a customer at this restaurant noticed a 2% surcharge for something called employee wellness at the bottom of her $92.58 bill. The extra charge, just so you know, amounted to $1.81. And she went fucking ballistic over it. You listening, Kennedy?
Yeah, sorry, I got a work text.
Oh, okay.
So a woman went ballistic over a 2% surcharge?
That equated to $1.81.
Oh my God.
Went crazy.
That's why it's always so like cringy whenever people complain about it, because I'm like, it's literally $4. It's like, and then you're instructed to remove it upon customer request, but it's like, all right, bro.
All right, I gotta finish the story.
Go ahead.
So the customer was indignant that the restaurant was passing along the cost of their employees' health insurance onto customers and doing it in a way that she felt lacked transparency. And then it says, even though the charge was listed in black and white. So she did what any right-thinking person would. I love how sassy this article is. She did what any right-thinking person would do. She took her grievance to Facebook. Like, this is the Post Bulletin being sassy. Like, what gay is like working for the Post Bulletin?
What does right thinking mean? Like Republican, or does
I don't know. Just like any like normal thinking person. Like, let's just
any person in their right mind.
So she took her grievance to Facebook, of course, middle-aged women.
Natural.
Where the thread has generated more than 400 comments and 341 shares. And unfortunately for the customer, who may have expected more outrage on her behalf, not a lot of sympathy.
Of course. Go Facebook.
So basically she like says like, can you tell me what all of this is about? What is this employee wellness surcharge? Blah, blah, blah. And then, so the media outlet ended up, Post Bulletin interviewed one of the owners, one of the co-owners, and he was happy to talk about it. He's like, I'm more than happy to talk about it. So he explains the surcharge and actually like how it ended up coming about. So this just happened. When was this posted? I think it's April 25th. So
it was this week,
2 days ago. So he's like, yeah, explain the surcharge and how it came about. So about 6 weeks ago, prior to this, the company decided to provide health insurance under United Healthcare to staff who work 20 hours or more on average. So at a cost of that would be to the employee of 2% of the plan or something. He said it's something that we really want to do for our people. They've earned it. A lot of the service industry personnel have never had health insurance before, and we wanted to provide easy and cheap access to that. So I can vouch, I didn't have health insurance for a long time. I made great money in the restaurants, but I didn't have health insurance. And I mean, that was just because I didn't work enough. But he said typically restaurants run on small margins, which is true. So it's not something we can bite off under our current pricing model. As a result, this employee wellness, this fucking microphone's falling on. So as a result, employee wellness, essentially a health insurance surcharge on receipt, is an idea that's being embraced, obviously, by more of the service industry, especially here in Chicago. So the owner said the company did not take the decision lightly, and they actually conducted a couple months of research before they decided to pull the trigger. So even so, a surcharge does raise some understandable questions. For instance, why not simply raise menu items so that people don't know? And the owner said that the option...
His microphone's just leaning.
It's just like falling.
It's like a leaning tower piece. It's not even attached anymore.
Let me fix it. David, cut this out.
He's not going to. It was literally not even attached.
It wasn't even attached. All right, now we're back in business.
I think you might have broken.
My microphone's like falling into my face. Sorry about that. So wait, where was I? So even so, a surcharge does raise some understandable questions. For instance, why not just simply raise menu items? So the owner said that that was an option that they actually considered, but they rejected it because raising menu item prices from 50 cents to $1 on everything would be an overreach, that they would actually be raising too much money for what they needed.
Yeah. Also, that's what would be... Put it on a different part of the table. Maybe the bottom of it's broken.
Fuck it. I don't care. So anyways, raising too much money for what was needed. So another option was to add like $1 onto all of like the best selling items in the restaurant. And the revenue was like sufficient to what they needed to cover those like extra charges for.
But that's sneaky. Like not explaining why.
Okay, let me finish.
Okay. I'm right, aren't I?
No, you're not. So I'm just holding the fucking microphone now.
You broke the table.
I didn't break the table. So basically, I'm holding this now. So they wanted to do the dollar option, but the thing was, is they felt like it penalized the regular customers who come in 3 times a week and get the same thing. So like, why would we do that to the regular customers? That's not fair either. So we didn't think it was equitable. So he was like, basically, we went with the virtue of a 2% surcharge printed at the bottom of the receipt, as opposed to raising menu items that the customer is basically stuck with. And then if the customer is really bothered by the charge, they can just simply remove it. It's not a big deal.
That's true.
And so then it says, in fact, the customer who released the Hounds of Controversy with her posting on Facebook was given the option to remove the surcharge, but declined to do so. You fucking bitch. You just... So the internet fodder was too good to pass up. She just wanted some fucking attention over $1. Go fucking loser. You can't even buy a McChicken for $1 anymore. Being among the first to adopt the practice in Rochester, where this is in Minnesota, where this is. So this is one of the first, they're like the first to do it there. And of course it entailed like a little bit of risk. But so far there has been generally a really positive response, until this fucking crazy lady started posting everything. And he says, we've obviously had questions from regulars like, hey, what's this on the bill? And if the explanation like didn't suffice, then the manager would just take it off. Yeah. And then nobody has to worry about it. And then it wasn't a big deal. So yeah, they were like, we hadn't had an issue with it until this one lady brought it up, and then we offered to remove it, and she said no. Fucking Karen. So
$1.80.
Yeah, and it's like it's printed on the menus. So like it says it on the menu, it says on the check. Like, you fucking read, bitch. And then he said like the response from restaurant staff has been great. Like, like a ton of new people have signed up for insurance that haven't had insurance. And then he goes on to say, like towards the end, now that they have this great coverage, it feels great, to be honest, to be able to do that for his staff. And he said, take it, for example, a 27-year-old server. She might only work 22 hours a week because she's going to school. Well, now she can also get really good health insurance as well and not have to worry about that while she's trying to benefit her future. So yeah, basically out of this whole thing, it seemed like this lady just like, she was like, fuck this $1.80 charge, I hate it here, and then got roasted online. And then they did an article, and then everybody's like, yeah, we actually support it. So like, what's wrong? Like, I mean, like, I get it, people are like, well, why are we paying? But I'm like, you can just raise the prices and none of you have anything to complain about. Like, you can't afford it, bitch, sit your ass at home.
Yeah.
What's $1.81 going to get you? A quarter of a gallon of gas? Fucking read a book. Loser. Like, what are you going to get? Half of a fucking Reese's peanut butter cup? Fucking grow up.
Yeah.
Like $1.81.
And what sucks is that the server is the one that has to explain that. Yeah, the server is the one that has to explain the surcharge. And it's so awkward because it's just like, it puts you in a position where it's like, oh, like that's for me, but not for me. It doesn't go into my pocket. It just goes into a fund that gives me the option to have affordable health care.
Why are you so against people having health care?
So stupid.
Like, damn, bitch. Like, God forbid I break my leg and then I have $200,000 in fucking medical bills. Who's going to be serving you food then?
A hologram.
No? Yeah, a hologram. You're going to be talking to a hologram and you're going to have a robot throwing shit on your table.
Maybe we should have hologram restaurants just for people like that.
100%. They get blacklisted.
It's really cheap because we don't have to pay for,
like, again, that Black Mirror episode. Remember that lady? Like, she fucked up and then she started getting everything taken away because nobody liked her.
Yep.
Wasn't the
rating?
Yeah, she was in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Apparently she has a big butt, like a dump truck. They had to edit her butt smaller.
In Jurassic Park?
Yes. Because she got a dumpy.
What's wrong with having a dumpy?
I don't know. I guess Disney or Universal is like against having big butts. Yeah, that's
Universal.
I would never make it.
I was going to say Disney is definitely not against having big butts because every Pixar animated mom ever has like the largest dumpy.
Fucking The Incredibles.
The last Mrs.
Girl,
Incredible.
She was thick. She's dummy thick.
She built it.
Yeah, but I guess they had to like edit her butt smaller. I don't know. Look it up. It's crazy.
Read a book.
She got what's her name? She got like a cool name.
I don't know.
It's like a cool name. I'm gonna look it up. Jurassic World actors. I can't spell either.
Oh no, but I have
Bryce
one more.
Dallas Howard.
How would I remember that name?
Okay, yeah, did they edit her butt?
Well, Jake is trying to figure out if her butt was edited in Jurassic World. My last thing I wanted to talk about for this episode is I saw a TikTok about this recently. Closing Sidework and how openers always complain that it isn't done well enough. Are you listening?
Wait, what did you say? Sorry, I was looking at her butt. What did you say?
Closing Sidework and how openers always complain the next day that one thing isn't right or that the closers did a terrible job. And one thing... Oh shit, you're right. Oh my God, they really edited it out.
Yeah, she got it. Bryce Dallas Howard's butt is so big they had to Photoshop it down on the Jurassic World poster. I love it. Okay, yeah, but closers and openers. Sorry, I got distracted.
It's okay. Does anyone ever actually like complete closing Sidework perfectly? Because the thing is like openers always complain. I get it. You're up early. You're coming in. Things aren't done correctly. There's like major things like tables not being where they're supposed to be or like things being like super dirty. I get that. But it's like if one bar shaker is a little sticky or like one table didn't get wiped down properly because somebody sat there until the very end of the night or I don't know. It's like, is it really worth it to complain that much about it? You know?
See, that didn't happen with me. I was an anal closer. I made sure everybody did their shit when I left because I was taught at the restaurants I worked at.
No, I don't mean like at a nice restaurant because they have cleaning crews that come in. I'm talking like
I'm not. Let me finish. Okay. These were the first restaurants I worked at. That's where I learned it. These weren't nice restaurants, but I had crazy ass fucking managers that would literally bring like the world's biggest light and like shine it on stuff. Damn. So if me as the closer, if they didn't do it, I ended up having to do it every single fucking night. So like it trained me to be a really anal closer. Yeah. So I never had problems with opening. But yes, when I would open, because I'm an anal closer, I knew everything. And
should have been done.
And I came out with a laminated list that needed to be checked off by everybody's name.
That's so funny.
Because I was like, I ain't doing this anymore.
It's chaos. And like, I feel like it's just so easy to complain about the person that was there before you.
I'm like, who closed last night?
Who the hell closed last night?
What's all this silverware not doing unrolled?
Oh, I've definitely done that.
I know I've done that.
Oh my God. My first restaurant job in Chicago, I was like insane about silverware because I would always do more than I was supposed to because I
always do. Yeah, I liked it. It was therapeutic.
I was like, I'm stuck here anyways. I might as well keep doing silverware. Like, I can't leave.
The microphone.
You're like Freddie Mercury holding your microphone.
I know.
But the thing is like, so the bar I worked at in college would get disgusting every night when you close the bar down.
Yeah, because it was a college.
There would be puddles in the middle of the bar sometimes
disgusting.
of just like, I don't even know where the water comes from, but we'd have to mop, scrub everything, clean all the booths, clean all the tables. Yeah, because you
I don't want
stickiness.
fucking bugs.
But it's like you see a picture of what it looked like before and then what you transform it to afterwards. And the worst thing ever is waking up the next day and like someone who's opening is like, you didn't take off the nozzle of the soda gun. And you're like,
suck my fucking ass. I spent 2 hours deep cleaning this fucking place.
I squeegeed a puddle of water into the sidewalk.
I got home at 6 a.m. Like, leave me. Are you like an hour before you even got in?
They call you at 10 a.m. They're like, you did this wrong.
You know what? I actually had a person. There was a person, the laziest fuck. They didn't do anything they were supposed to. I made them come in. I mean, they had to work that day, but I made them come in an hour early and do all their shit and their fucking rolls and everything. Because I was like, you're staying an hour after or an hour before. Because
the one thing I will say, silverware. If I show up and there's a tub of silverware
to the side with your name on it, and nobody is touching it, you are doing this. And they were like, holy shit! And I was like, don't ever do that to me again. Yeah. That's kind of a bitch sometimes. But like, it's
just such a double-edged sword because it's so hard to keep track of what people are doing to close their closing side work. And especially if you're the closer, you're busy with your tables. Like, how do you have the time to go monitor what everyone's doing? So if I get off early, like 8 or 9, and the closers are there until, midnight or 1,
yeah.
Like, how am I going to be able to break them away from their 6 table section to come and make sure that my silverware and everything is done? And then they're like, but can you also go and polish all the glassware for the bar or something like that? I
always made time. I was like, no. I'm like, I'm not too. Can you sign this? You're too busy. I'm like, no, I'm not busy. Go watch my section. Let me go check.
Yeah.
They're like, what? I'm like, go check. We'll watch my section. I will go check. It was not fun to close with. I bet that was the thing. Like, everybody knew that it wasn't like I made you do extra work. I held you accountable for what you needed to do. And then the next day I would hold people accountable the same. So it wasn't like I had favoritism or anything. Like, I held everybody to the same pedigree, like, of what you needed to do day in and day out.
Yeah.
So people knew, like, oh, Jake's closing. Like, we actually have to do our shit. You know, there was never any bad blood because it wasn't like I was mean about it. I was just like, no, this is what needs to be done. This is we have to do this. And I never was like mean or anything. So people like understood it. Of course, people, but what the fuck, you know, like, they didn't want to do it. But I'm like, you're gonna make me do it? I don't want to fucking be here all night either. I have my own shit to do.
That's my favorite closing shit to say. It's like, I'm not gonna stay late for what you're gonna be lazy about and not.
I'm like, then pay me, tip me out right now. I'll do it.
Yeah,
$40.
Oh, sometimes I would make a deal with the closer. Like, hey, if I'll transfer you these 2 tables, even though I haven't. Like, I did all the work for them. They just haven't closed out yet. If you do my closing side work. And they'd be like, bet. All right.
Yeah, I know. For $30-$40 for the extra 20 minutes of my time. Yeah.
No, at the restaurants I've worked at, it would be an extra like $200 in their pocket.
Oh, like the ones you're working at now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like when you're at the college bar.
No.
Yeah, if it's like an extra.
No, at the college bar, I would work until 5 a.m. if they let me. I loved working there. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I always.
Now that I'm 26, my back hurts. I'm ready to go.
Like, I'll transfer the tables. They're like, yeah, go.
Yeah.
Shit, you just gave me $100.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's my thing on that. I don't have to worry about that though. But yeah, I am kind of anal when it comes to closing and opening. Everything was always done. It always looked very nice.
Yeah. Maybe one day again you'll have to worry about it. You never know.
I hope not. My thing is with restaurants, consistency is key. Food consistency is key. The way the restaurant looks consistently is key. Your staff consistency is key. The way they interact with customers, consistency is key. Is to make sure that a restaurant is in business for a long time and people keep wanting to come back because, you know,
it's the same experience every time.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You know, if you have that consistency, restaurants will last for a long time with that same volume or even grow and get better. But the instant you start to let little things slide,
slack, then it's like you can never get it back to that what it was before. I've noticed that with some restaurants in Chicago that used to be really popular in like 2019, 2020 before like COVID hit. Like,
let shit slide.
Yeah, and now it's like a completely different experience because the servers came back and either it's a different staff and they don't care, or like the managers aren't holding them accountable for what they need to do. The food is lacking, the service is lacking. Like every time I go to some of these restaurants, it's like shitty experience. And it's like, I'm a server. I get it. That you have hard days, but like when it's every single time, it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, who is running this place?
And that's the issue. It's just, I mean, now don't get me wrong. I'm not like a fucking military fucking. No, I'm not crazy. It's just, and that's the thing. Like if somebody was having a bad day or like just felt like they weren't able to give good service, you just send them home.
Well, yeah. And the thing with the industry is like either you're either type A or type B. Like there's really no in between in the industry. Either you're someone who's been in the industry for a long time because it's easy, or you think it's easy, it fits with your schedule well. Like you don't have to commit to anything too much, or you're the type of server who takes it very seriously. And it's like, it's very important to you. You love it. And like, you want everyone to have a great experience and you take pride in good reviews and people leaving happy. Like it's just miles apart. Yeah, sometimes you get stuck with a crew that's everyone on type B.
I know. It's a nice, if you have everybody type A, they're always fighting. So it's a nice to have.
Yeah. A mixture.
I've had those discussions with restaurants too.
Yeah.
Because they'll be too hard on type B people. And I'm like, if we had all type A people, this place would be on fire. I would not work here. Everybody would be at each other's throats.
That's why those type Bs don't get fired. They just coast. They're coasters.
I love it. They're my favorite people. They keep balance. They keep me like from my head blowing up.
They're also the ones who are like, let's go get a drink after work.
They're like chill. They don't give a shit.
They made $100. They're like, let's go spend some money.
Yeah, they're like living off of fucking fumes.
They're at the bar. They're like, why isn't the bartender making the drinks faster? It's like, bitch, you make two drinks every 30 minutes.
I can't. But yeah, no, I mean, that's my little thing on opening
I like
and closing.
It. I think that's all we have for today.
It is. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. I don't have anything else to say.
I'm done.
Until our next interviewer.
Yes, next week we have another interview back. I already talked about it, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
In May, that's our first episode in May, is next week.
Oh, God, it's
It's gonna be May.
We both did it. I gotta go.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Happy Industry Sunday.
Happy Industry Sunday. What's a shot of choice? I have a hair on my mouth.
I must have had that mic last week because I also had a hair on mine last week. I don't know. I'm kind of getting bored of shot of choice. I might do a drink of choice, a pina colada, because I miss the warmth. Today was kind of chilly in Chicago, so.
Pina colada. Getting lost in the rain.
What are you surfing the internet for right now? More of that girl's butt?
No. You know what I think everybody should get?
We're ending the episode, Jake.
Those alcoholic freezies.
Oh, yes. Like the push. It's like a little push pop, like a popsicle.
I used to always chew on the plastic.
I concur.
Of my lip.
All right. Your drink of the week is a pina colada and a alcoholic popsicle.
Yeah, that sounds like a hangover.
Put them together. Put it in the pina colada.
Okay. Yeah.
That's like the ultimate blowjob shot right there. Brain freeze.
Have to drink the whole thing all at once.
You gotta deep throat the popsicle, chug the pina colada.
All right. Yeah. Somebody sent us a video of that.
Oh my God. I would send you $100.
I will.
If someone sends me a video of you doing that.
You are our marketing.
Yeah. And then we're going to post it.
We will pay you.
We'll blur out your face.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Happy Industry Sunday. We love you.
We'll see you guys next week.
Share with your friends, rate, review, subscribe, follow us.
Those people.
I know. I really don't want to, but we have to squeeze it in.
Yeah, we have to. We have to. What is it?
Self-promote.
Yeah. Help us, please.
Help, please.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.